allergic to the sun. Yep. And I burned so easily. When I was a little girl, my mom would always make bonnets. Let me tell you, Mama could take a piece of newspaper and some scissors, and she'd sit there and cut out the pattern for my bonnet, and she'd make me bonnets. And I have many of Mama's bonnets that she made for me that I still wear today. So that's how I started making the bonnets. When I started gardening, I had to wear my bonnets. And so many people asked me about them that I started making them. So let me take you along and show you how I make Mama's bonnets. I have one of her last actual patterns. This one I cut out this morning. It's a circle, and it's for the back of the bonnet. And you can use this half circle for the brim. You see? So you can use one pattern to make one bonnet. Now let me show you. This fabric has a message on it, and I thought it would be perfect for a bonnet. It says, "Life is a beautiful ride." And it has this old cycle. Beautiful floral colors. I don't like to make a bonnet out of red. And very seldom I like to make them out of a deep blue. I don't know, I just don't want the birds to think it's the sky. But anyway, I thought this was beautiful. And then I wanted a white, but I wanted the white to have something in the background. And I found this. These are, I hope you can see it. There we go. These are leaves and the berries that they have on the holly tree. And I thought, that is perfect. This is going to be the ties, and it's going to be the back. So let's get started. This is going to be, there we go. This is going to be the brim. Let me get the pattern for the brim. And I laid this out, and I did have it all pressed. You know how it is. And this bonnet, I'll use the one pattern to show you how you can make it from the one pattern. Let me open this up a bit. And I want the words where a person looking at the bonnet can read it. So the words will be like this. Lay your pattern down, just like so. And then I have clips as well as pins. But to cut this out, I'm going to use pins. Like that. Doesn't take many to hold it down. This is 100% cotton fabric, which is what I always like to use. It washes really well. And I always recommend, if you purchase one of my bonnets, or if you're going to make the bonnet, wash it in cold water. And I'm telling you, I've had my bonnets for years. The ones that Mama made, and these that I make. Now, once you get it pinned down, Then you're going to cut it out. You need 2 pieces. And I cut as close to the pattern as I can. Mama would sit in her chair and cut out my bonnets. Naturally, nobody else had bonnets. Just like this. This is the way Mama would cut them out. And yep, she'd have errors. And it's okay. Now, you see, we have that, but we still have to cut the top. So we're going to even this out all the way across. I saw this fabric and it was so colorful and so beautiful. I thought, oh, it's a bonnet. There we go. And that's the pattern on the bonnet, like so. And the brim will look like this. See? That is gorgeous. I love it, love it, love it. Now, if you have a different piece for the brim, then you don't have to remove it. Now, let me tell you about the brim. I quilt my brims. I use batting, a thin, nice thin cotton batting, or I use inner facing. Let me get a piece of the inner facing so you can see it. Now this I purchased yesterday. This is a sew-in inner facing, and you need 2 pieces for your brim, just like you needed 2 cut out pieces for your brim. Now we're going to do the circle of the bonnet. And you only need 1. You only need 1 circle. So I opened this out, and yep, I did press it. I know it doesn't look like it, but I did. And you lay your circle. Just like so. On your fabric, and you only need 1. And this, the back of the bonnet is not going to be lined, but because you have that little poof, just a little bit of poof, it's cool. I love them. You know, when Mama would make my bonnets, I could sit there and watch her just enthusiastic over Mama's making me a bonnet. And as I grew up and got older, and especially when I got married, I said, Mom, I have my bonnets. I want to learn how to make a bonnet. And she said, Linda, you already know how to make a bonnet. No, ma'am. She said, you watched me make them. And she said, the next time you come home, we'll make a bonnet. And that's what we did. And she just took a piece of newspaper cut out the circle. How in the world? I'll never know. And she would stitch hers by hand. Mama didn't use the sewing machine to make my bonnets. She'd stitch them by hand, looking at the TV with a sewing box. And when she finished the bonnet, she'd throw it over there to me. And she'd say, here you go. Now you wear that in the sun. And I'd say, yes, ma'am. I don't think children are as cruel as they were when I was growing up. When you're plus size, you're always laughed at. And on top of that, a bonnet. And the kids would laugh at me. And for some reason, my bonnets didn't bother me. I loved them. Because you see, I had been sunburned. And for some reason, to me, and I guess it's true, like I said, the poof, you'll see it as we continue and finish making the bonnet. The back, oh, when you get a good breeze in the south, they were cool. I meet so many people when I wear my bonnets, like to the grocery store, and they'll say, oh, where did you get your bonnet? I love it. Or in the garden centers, and they'll say, I want a bonnet. I had a guy to come up to me the other day, and he said, ma'am, there we go. There it is. There's the circle. Now, those are the two basic pieces that you'll need. The guy said, ma'am, you're bringing back memories. And I said, I am. He said, yes, my grandmother gardened, and she wore bonnets all the time. That's the TV. I'm sorry, guys. There we go. He said, and she wore bonnets all the time. And I said, did she? And he said, I haven't seen bonnets in years. And he and I talked about it, and I told him about Mama making my bonnets. So those are the two basic pieces that you'll need. You'll need the brim. You'll need the circle for the back. And it can be the same identical fabrics. And then what I'm going to do is I'll cut out the interfacing. You'll need two pieces of interfacing, just like you needed the two pieces of fabric, if I can get them apart, for the brim. There we go. And when we come back, I'll show you how we put them together. I'll cut out the interfacing, and I'll cut out the straps, and I'll give you the dimensions. I don't have a pattern for my straps, but my straps end up being 2 inches. So thank you for joining me, and thank you for letting me tell you about my bonnets and how Mama used to make mine. Now the next time, this is part 1, we're going to have a part 2. So come back and let me show you how I make my bonnets. Have a blessed day, guys.